Yeah, well, you got a quiz tonight. You were working. Fantastic. Ready? Kev, you ready?
Ready.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you could remain standing just for a few minutes, as we remember those who have fallen, both in the war and here at home. We especially remember Gary Lent and Betty Mills. Thank you. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. Rather than do it in my report, I would like to welcome two guests here with us tonight, Elder Berube and Elder Holzer. They're in our audience tonight. They are along with several others that have been working in our community. I've run into them several times, and they're looking to help. So they're looking for anyone, you need some help moving stuff, putting stuff here, doing stuff there. They're just looking to help out. It's a fantastic group. They have a cell phone. They're 699-9020-9020. You can call me at the village if you're looking for a couple of people to come and help you at your house, move something, get something done. They are in the community. You guys just want to stand up for a second for the people at home, just so they can see you, so two other guys don't show up. These are two of several gentlemen that are working through the community as part of their project. And I thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Thanks. Do you have any public comment on the agenda items? Okay, department head reports. Fire.
This is a big month for the fire department and the village of Highland Falls. The fire company responded to 12 calls during the month of September. One was a CO call, 4 motor vehicle accidents, 1 food on the stove, and it was not my stove, 3 automatic alarms, 2 setups for helicopter landing zones, and 1 standby. And on behalf of the fire department thanks both the village board and the community for their support during the Orange County Volunteer Firemen's Association convention, and especially the parade. And I understand through Chief Scott, the parade and the after party all were well behaved.
Thank you. Building?
We all got a copy in our packet from Mr. Hager. In the summary, the following was completed within the village during the report period. The report dated September 25th, 2013. 3 permit applications were received, 0 operating permits were issued, 4 certificates of compliance / occupancy were issued, 109 physical inspections were performed, 17 of which were fire safety inspections, 33 complaints were opened, 1 of which was an unregistered vehicle, 30 advisory violation notices and notices of remedy were issued, 17 periodic inspections were opened, 0 of which were landlord registration renewals, 5 municipal searches were completed, 0 zoning variance, 0 planning board. The full report's been filed with the village clerk, and we have the local law tonight, which we will get to later in the agenda.
DPW, Pat Patterson gave a summary of the things he's been working on accomplishing. Remove sections of curb across from Pentagon Credit Union. Remove old guardrails in parking lot 1, fill holes. Work with town crew installing binder behind town hall. Prep Cooks Lane, Brennan's Way, Liberty Street, Cousins Avenue, Eagle Valley Road for fiber mat, removing weeds from curbs and sidewalks, trimming trees, cleaning all trash. Dug water box on Perry Avenue for repair. Install a water line and water hydrant so flowers can be watered across from Brennan's Way and Ladycliff Park. Repair blacktop on Brennan's Way caused by water line installation. Water main break on Church Street, dug repaired. Water leak on 427 Main, dug repaired. Hollowed stone from FiberMat, provided truck and flaggers for FiberMat. Prep parking 1 for reclaiming. Remove bad sections of sidewalk, Ladycliff Park. Remove the old footings from kiosk. Level and pour new cement. Rebuild catch basin, manhole 1. Prep for fireman spray, cleaning fireman spray, assistant paving lot 1. Assist the town crew with the projects. And flush storm drain lines in Sadley Grove area. And Cedar Lane, Laurel Lane, and Satterley Road. I would like to just point out the installation of the water line and water hydrants for the flowers can be watered across Brennan's Way and Ladycliff Park. I just want to thank that, in particular, the Vision Group has been looking to do that for years. Now we don't have to use the water buffalo, and they'll be able to take care of the park that much easier. So that was a great accomplishment. I appreciate that from the crew. Police.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Last month, the Village Police Department logged in 1,633 incidents. I'm not going to go through every one of them, otherwise we're all going to be here a lot longer than any of us want to be here. But of those, 18 were arrests, 16 misdemeanors, 2 violations. The village officers wrote 257 summonses. Breakdown on that is 104 parking and 153 traffic summons. And revenue brought in $1,244. We'll have an update to that hopefully later this week or early next week with meter deposits. Our 7 vehicles logged in 6,097 miles, used 764 gallons of fuel. That's all we have, sir.
Thank you. Water report. Reservoir 80% capacity. Daily average water use 482,000. Daily average water usage in the town. That was in the village. In the town, 52,000. Total combined 535,000. Mayor's report. I'm actually going to move up the donated good ones, the mayor's report, and then we'll discuss it so he can take off. He's got to go. I'd like to invite him up. We have, for those people that see the green boxes, there's 2 of them in our village. We, in 2011, we received money from the Donate Goods group who runs the green boxes. We didn't get anything last year due to miscommunication. I called them again. Our treasurer pointed out that we didn't get the money, so he was looking into it. And we called them, made contact, and they said, sure, we have some money for you, which was great. And Stu Burton is here from the Donate Goods group, and he's here to present 2 checks. One, $250 to the American Legion, and a second check for $500 to start off, which we'll be discussing here at the board, which I'm hoping to start off the fund for the senior center for the village. And I just want to thank, he's got some literature here. Do you want to tell us just a little bit about your group?
Basically, we keep it in the county. Everything that we get, we keep in the county. Now, I don't know if I'm stepping in for my boss, Gary Quartz, because he had something with his son, a tragedy today, and he couldn't make it, so I'm stepping in. But what we do, we keep everything in the community. There are a lot of boxes that are around in Orange County and Rockland County that they say they put in the community, but they really don't. I'm not here to badmouth any other boxes, but our boxes stay in the community. And we want to put the boxes in here and give all the money to Highland Falls, to the village of Highland Falls. We do, I wrote my notes, I'm not the greatest, but we do clothing drives. We park a truck by the school, and the PTA, I have letters here from PTAs that we already respond to, that PTAs, if they fill up a truck, the town or the PTA will get $1,700. That's what a full truck returns. Everything that we take out of here, Highland Falls, it goes back into Highland Falls. We don't go to another county and give it to another county or to another town. Whatever comes out of here stays in here. And this is why we can give you more money, because we're sharing it all together. That's basically the story. One of my bosses has the trailer park down on Hudview Trailer Park. He owns the trailer park. His name is Wayne Quartz. He's affiliated with Gary Quartz. Gary Quartz owns it, the brothers. He saved New York Military Academy. He gave them a big donation to military, the academy there, and he helped save them so he wouldn't go out of business. My bosses, they give a lot back. They get and they give back. And that's what we want to do here in Highland Falls.
After talking to Gary, not only are they looking to do one of their truck pulling drives, which I think would be a great thing, he also wants to get involved. He's involved with several other charity efforts. And I was very excited to talk to him, and we're going to try to work on some more events for this community. So thank you very much.
And the boxes, we'd like to put out some more boxes.
Eventually get there.
Thank you, thank you.
Intermunicipal agreement for the consolidated ZBA agreement. What do you do, Sharon?
Well, Ben has suggested you review it and go over it with the town because you're changing your local law. You
Right.
have to have this intermunicipal agreement. So you should kind of update it, revise it, and make sure you're all on the same page. If you notice on page 4 of it, when we first did this, you had 7 members.
Right.
Therefore, you're going down to 5.
Right.
I told you right now who's currently on there, so I don't know if you want to update it to reflect that.
Right.
Then if you or the town have any reasons to want to change anything else in it, now is the time you should probably review and make sure you're both still on the same page with this intermunicipal. Their public hearing is on the 21st for their local law change.
Right.
Ours tonight is to introduce ours, and ours will be next week. But these two things should go together. I mean, you can do them separately, but they should be worked on now.
I agree.
So it was for you to discuss that. You wanted to set a couple of board members to work with a couple of town members to go over that, however you want to review your, so that was for you to discuss.
Charlie?
Yeah.
You good?
Fine.
Okay, Charlie will work with the town to make sure we're all on the same page with the zoning board. Fantastic. Okay, rebid water waste treatment plant, sludge digester roof, and coping replacement. Okay, we had originally talked about going with the second lowest bidder, when you have the sheet here. But after talking to Todd, he feels that we should rebid it out because these are not necessarily roofers. They are just doing, they would hire that out to a roofer, take some extra cash, there's a good chance we're gonna get a better price, and obviously dealing directly with a professional. So his suggestion was we rebid it out. Is everybody good with that? So,
That's what the recommendation.
yeah, it's his recommendation, Todd. Is everyone good? Okay, so we're gonna rebid that out.
You want a motion and a second?
I sure will. Can I get a motion to rebid out the wastewater treatment sludge digester roof? Motion by Bob, second by Charlie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Is there something in actual new business about 21 Hillside, or is that just in my report?
That's in the report.
Okay. For 21 Hillside, again, I talked to Pat, I talked to Todd. For those that aren't aware, we have a memo here from Bobby Fallon, as well as some other information. The top of Hillside, which is 21 Hillside, is historically never been worked on by the village. It's what's known as a paper road. The reason why it never actually came to an issue with the village is because the people that worked there, or people who lived there, they were in the business, they took care of it themselves, it wasn't an issue. We're being asked now to take care of the road, because it is part of Hillside Avenue. I would like, before we move on possibly taking care of the road, For those who don't know the area, to me, I always thought it was a lot. I didn't think it was part of the road. It's a dead end. It's very wide. My suggestion at first would be to offer that area to the residents and take it off as a, this is a dead end. That, to see if they are interested in taking it and taking care of it. And if they are not, then we have to move on that.
When you're talking about
Top of hillside.
cutting over to Edward Street where it goes through.
Past Edward Street.
So,
That's also Hillside Avenue. Where the Dohertys used to live.
Right.
The brick house.
where his mom lived, where
Right.
Chucky lived and his mom, the road that
Yep.
went through there and turned on to,
Well, the driveway goes through to Locust.
right.
And unfortunately, historically, nothing's ever done. Bobby?
Yeah.
Is that
The driveway doesn't go through anywhere. There's an easement
Right.
between the two property owners. So it has nothing, it stops in Hillside, that easement. So the easement has nothing to do with that section. It's only about 50, 60 feet. The problem is also, I know this particular resident that I'm representing, they do not care to have it because if it's a road, people are not gonna park there. So if all the parking is from other property owners, you can't get up to your driveway. Because if you look on the map, it goes all the way across, actually where Chucky property is. You see how it goes all the way down to that section. You go across
Right.
the easement. This is on the corner kind of here, so they've got you see the big long rectangle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it goes across, and then there's a garage there. There no longer is a garage, but what I'm saying is that that's where they're parked. They go up hillside, and they turn onto their property to the left and park. But with all the cars there, because it looks like an empty lot, from residents, it's very hard to maneuver your own car in to get to your own lot. And that's why plus, if you took a look at it, it's when you pave up hillside, then you just stop. And then when you pave up Edward, you stop. And it was true, that's what they did. They did it because
It's just what they did.
yeah, which was nice for all these years, but it is a public road, and it's gravelled and chopped, and that's it. And when we tried to sell that house,
which one?
and there's all kinds of cars there and
Are you-
trinkets out there.
Is this, you're talking about Chucky Dockery's old house?
No, the mom's.
The mom's house in the back? Okay.
Mhm. So when you go up Hillside, it's right there.
Okay,
So Hillside stops,
right.
their driveway begins. And the easement is part of that. The easement used to, if you go back historically, that was also a Dougherty property. So I'm gonna let my nephew, when it's snowy, go down Edward Street rather than go down Locust, which is, or whatever. So that's basic, rather than go down Hillside.
Oh, okay.
You see, so it's, and also Locust is pretty steep. But, I mean, they may lift it between the two owners, I believe it's going to be lifted, the easement. Neither one wants it anymore, you need two to lift it, which will be fine. But it doesn't solve the problem of basketball courts being there, or other
I'm
items
sorry.
of parking, and it not being paved.
So basically, you want the town, the village to maintain this easement?
You do, just like, just like any other road.
Okay, because I thought that was like a private driveway from Mrs.
No,
Dockery.
if you look on the survey, I
Right.
had an old survey.
Right,
It was suggested to me from the last administration to get a new one.
right.
This is identical, but they went and paid for a new one to make sure, but there's a lot of things what we thought. We thought actually Edward Street that keeps on going, in that area was a paper road too, but, it wasn't. Somebody bought it and they live on it. But for years, there was just a long driveway.
I think that, yeah, we gotta look into this, because I know there's all kinds of conditions for us to take it over, in fact.
Well, there should not be. It's a public road. It always has been. Because you did not maintain it for 50 years, doesn't absolve you from maintaining this part of Hillside as you do the lower part of
I
Hillside.
may not be
Unless I'm
understanding.
not correcting it.
Yeah,
I'm
not-
only asking you for the Grandfields on this.
You're talking about the property between Chucky's and his mom, that piece of
No.
blacktop. Okay,
No.
that's what I'm not, okay.
But it would run along the corner of his house. He does not use that. That's,
Just talking along that, you're talking along the house up to the driveway of Locust.
if you go
But not
straight
through
up Hillside,
Right.
do not turn left or do not turn
Right.
right. The road stops at the
Right.
stone wall of the Doherty house.
Right in front of the brick
Right.
house.
Exactly. Matter of fact.
And that's all,
it's
that's
stone.
all you want?
Yes.
You don't want in the back?
Oh, see, I'm looking in the back, and I'm saying, gee, that was
50
always,
feet.
that was always like a private with,
No,
just saw you coming right to
just
here.
50
Yeah.
feet of it. There's nothing in the back. That,
Well, no,
all-
everything on the, that's, see, I thought you were talking about the side, that huge,
No,
it's like a
no.
lot.
The lot, the lot belongs to the same people.
Okay.
And that was where the garage was. So, you look around.
Yeah, that's
there,
actually,
just
that's a
think
much smaller size.
That's 50 feet. It was, exactly.
And then Bill and the other kids share a spot. But there's
Right. But it's supposed to be. I just didn't think, no, I think Kathleen did that. Mhm. So, and we don't want, you don't have to like put concrete and stamp it for the years that you didn't take care of it. Blacktop would be fine.
Actually, that's a lot smaller than I thought.
Can you do me a favor, can you come up here and just point out on this thing? Where you
It's
looking?
right here.
And
Yeah, I just
huh?
wanted to draw it out.
That's how we all under,
Here's
15
Edward,
different-
here's Hillside. It's this right here, what she's talking about.
That's it. It's
Okay.
about 50,
This is it.
60 feet.
right up to the.
This is what I thought we were talking about, like, is this one all the way to
Me
Locust?
too.
Right
This is
here.
what I was worried about, this is a lot of work.
No.
This, not so
That's an
much.
easement that
Right.
we should not do that.
So this section
The
here.
thing is that what I think confuses you is, this is one lot.
Right,
Right.
Actually, it's two lots.
right,
But that doesn't touch this at all, that actually, I have no problem with that.
Doesn't,
Left
yeah.
off Edward
So-
Street.
Right, right.
Okay,
So what
left on the
happens,
Edward
right,
Street then.
so
Okay.
what happens is the last time that the Edwards Street was paved,
As far as you know what piece
and
we're talking
and Hillside, we stopped.
I just took your
there.
map.
Yep.
Oh,
And then all the rest of the garage,
did.
No, I
cleaned up.
I thought you were coming all
I
the
thought
way.
you were coming all the way
She's
down
up
here.
here.
Yeah.
Close as
That's
I-
the between
okay.
this one and this one,
Okay.
which will probably be lifted, and then that person will be happy just having a
Got it.
lot, and the other
Okay.
person will have that.
Right.
Thank you.
Do,
Thank you.
is there, I mean, that's actually,
We'll have to discuss when we do paving, and we'll,
Just go with that.
so we'll talk about when we get it on the list, we'll go through that kind of stuff.
well, the question is the board okay with taking this on? It technically is a paper road. I feel that it's short enough and it is part of the road. It's not, it doesn't, we're not talking about jotting off the side a big piece. That's part of the road that was just unmaintained.
Right.
Is the board okay with, when we do Hillside, when we do Everett Street, to just finish up to that piece, is my question?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
You would like to see it, I understand. Jim?
And I would, I think we should have a discussion with the street superintendent.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a bad idea.
The confusing part of me is, there have been paper roads, a lot still exists in Fort Montgomery. It says on the map, paper road.
Right,
If you you own the property next door, you go up to the county for $1, you buy it, it's yours.
Beautiful thing.
It is. But this does not say paper road on any maps. I took the
Right.
county map, it does not say paper road, so
I don't think
know
that's gonna,
where-
I don't think that's gonna matter. I was told by Pat that it was, but I don't think that's gonna matter because
It's
I think
usually
we're okay.
stated.
We're gonna talk to Pat Patterson.
Oh, okay.
Let him know what we're talking about. Charlie wants to take a look at the road. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. What we'll do is we'll bring it back so you have a solid answer after we have a chance to talk to Pat. I would probably think by the next meeting, we would be able to take care of it. But I appreciate you being here because you cleared up something for all of us as far as the exact spot. And I think that's gonna make a huge difference. I don't think it's gonna be a problem, okay?
Because the only way to gain entry on the other property is to go into this a wee bit. So it would not have been a legal lot. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you
Okay.
Okay. Discussion. 96 Mearns for resident parking only. Yeah, everyone has that letter? Gary, or Greg, I'm sorry. Any questions? I talked to our lawyer, I talked to police chief, and I've talked to Pat Patterson. And we're all in agreement that that this is, that this should be striped, resident parking only. And that's it. I wanted to make sure that our lawyer and the chief and Pat were all involved. They've actually, you're going to go up and measure?
Yes, sir, we're gonna go up there, and hopefully we get it done tomorrow. Today was too messy.
Is it's one of the older houses on the planet, and it doesn't even have a parking lot in front of it. So there's parking, here's the road, here's sidewalk, here's their house. There's no sidewalk in front of the house. The only way out of the house is their staircase right here. So if somebody actually parks in here, it's not so much, they're both athletic people, they can make their way around.
You know, I
It's the fact that if there's an emergency,
Right.
it's gonna be difficult to get either a stair chair or a stretcher out of here. And that's a big concern of theirs.
Okay.
So, but the bigger issue is, they own all of this, 6 feet off of there's a wall right here. 6 feet off of the wall they own, it's their property. This would be a sidewalk area. Our, the lawyer, chief, and Pat are to stripe it, and that's what they went with. So, I wanna bring it to the board, because, the owners are very concerned to make sure that they have access to the road.
One recommendation.
Sir.
If we can just get a written opinion from our attorney.
No problem.
Because I spoke to him today, and what he was indicating to me is that we can stripe, the board would have to pass a resolution, but it would only be to cover that walkway area, not the whole area in front of the property. So if we
Okay.
can just get something, a written opinion
He
from
had,
him.
he had expressed to me to do, that we could do the whole thing as private, or resident parking only.
So nobody could park there but 96 Mearns.
Right.
Was that-
Because, and it's not that they're parking out even into the road.
Right,
That to me is a driveway. That's off the road.
right.
That's like anyone else having a driveway here where the parking lot goes and you're driving in. That's their driveway. So people are actually parking in their driveway.
Right.
So, and the problem is they can't, now they can block it off. It's not that you can put a gate from the chair to here, you know, because it's going like this. So they're asking it to be striped residents only.
I like the,
Huh? It's private property, right. Oh, say it on here instead of residents only, just say private property. That's, so that's what we're looking for today, is, as Ken said, a resolution with a lawyer recommendation. To stripe the area private property, which I'll double check that with our lawyer. Thoughts, comments, questions?
I'm gonna ride by and take a look, because I can vision the property, but is there a garage? Do they have a garage under the house? Or is it?
Yeah, come on up. This is Greg.
Oh, okay.
He owns the property.
Oh, yeah. Good. You're to the left of Bd Baker? Is that the house?
To the left, to the right of Rocky and.
Okay, so, oh,
So this is the garage,
Right.
this is the wall, this is the.
Right.
This is.
okay. I'm just trying to get my bearings here, because
Right across from the doctor.
Dr.
That's
Pete.
a really nice
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Really nice.
Yep. So Bede Baker's over here, and then,
Well, look at this.
Okay, there you go.
Bede Baker's right here.
okay. Right, and where did?
See, this is the area we're talking about.
This is how the property is. And this is Bede Baker.
Okay.
This here and here is sidewalk.
Right.
There is no sidewalk in front of their house. So instead of parking, now they're parking here, sidewalk, parking here on the road next to sidewalk. Instead of doing that, they're coming in here.
Right.
And the problem is that you park right here, you can't get out off the property.
Okay. I know I've been by there a million times, so I'm just
Yeah.
trying to remember.
And this is
I know
what they
it's a
own.
unusual
It's a property,
situation.
it's a
Yeah.
weird,
Yeah.
it's like, the wall was pushed back.
Right.
In order to have that,
It's basically a driveway. They pushed it back to make a driveway.
Okay.
It's private property.
I don't have a problem doing it, I just wanna make sure we don't label it where we open up a doorway for someone else who wants private
Well,
parking.
that's
for
our
their house.
concern.
So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I don't care, I just wanna make sure the wording is correct, so we don't, because then I'm gonna want private parking in front of my house, you
And I'm
know?
gonna say no.
Maybe, you know.
But classifying it what it is, if anyone parks in in front of someone else's driveway, that's illegal. So
Right.
this, though it's short, because it's not long, does not make it a driveway.
Right.
Okay, it's short and wide.
So you could take care of it with a sign that says do not block driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
It
Make it easier.
may be better
Yeah.
And we'll,
in that language. Rather than
boom, we won't,
private
okay,
property for
even
you.
better, we won't stripe
Private
it,
parking.
we won't stripe it, driveway parking only.
Yeah.
Do not block driveway.
Do not block
And they have
driveway.
them all over town.
And then just
Done.
no parking between signs, something like that, rather than private parking for 96 cars. I like
Even
that.
better.
Yeah. All right.
Done. So you guys are okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with
Jim?
I'm okay with do not block driveway.
Done.
So, I think we just have to have Kenny talk to Ben.
Let's get, just
And that's it.
confirm with the written opinion and
Done.
We get the parameters of the property, I mean, it's pretty spelled out there, where it will go from, I mean.
Yeah, they'll give you the longitude, latitude, they have to ready.
yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, and I got the surveys, so.
From the,
Yeah, inspector.
Okay,
with the measurements from first.
all right,
Okay,
all right.
yeah,
Ready to go?
thank you.
Yeah. We have that. Yep, thank you. Exactly. Okay, so. Done. Okay, moving on. The Morewood Oaks Management Association LLC. That's the group that goes out and looks for cash. Are there any questions, we talked about this, are there any questions on this as far as,
No,
What they do? Okay.
You know,
basically it costs us nothing, if they find nothing, it's nothing. If they find money, we get it. It's a beautiful thing.
We need to vote for you to sign the.
Yes. We need, I need a motion for you to sign the agreement. Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Motion by Bob, second. Second by Charlie. All those in favor? All those opposed? Moved. Wastewater treatment fiberglass chemical storage tank, Class A license, interior painting of digester tank. Okay, are we gonna just motion this now and wait for it, or are we waiting on this? We wanna make sure it's done properly.
Yeah, We want,
I would just make a motion that TAM puts everything that they want to in writing and submit it to us for approval.
so we know what work they're giving us for the exchange, you know?
I agree.
Just rather than say we're gonna run a conduits and wires.
Exactly what they're gonna do.
Yeah, yeah, and then we'll,
And then we'll do it the next, there's
Yeah.
no hurry. So everyone understands what they're doing, right? They're gonna take a tank away,
right.
and they're going
They
to,
just wanna get rid of the tank, they wanna move it once.
well, they're taking the fiberglass tank,
Yeah, yeah,
and they're gonna move the shed
right,
onto where the tank is, bury, some electrical and one or two other things.
correct.
According to Todd, it's about $7,000-8,000 worth of work. When they were looking to get rid of the tank, they were only looking at $1,500 to $2,000.
Yeah,
So it's a good move.
I would, if, depending on what the board wants to do, I would be okay with it if, having them submit it in writing, and if you're okay with it along with John Jones from wastewater, just sign off on it and move forward with it.
yeah, as soon as I see something in writing, I know that the tank, they wanna get rid of it, they've had it for 17 years,
Right.
never used it, so, to me, it's just, we're not using it, and we can get something for it,
Exactly.
but I just don't know what we're getting for it, because I haven't seen anything in writing. So when that comes in, we'll,
Done.
So are we making a motion to empower the mayor to move ahead?
yes,
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, as long as you and John Jones are all right.
Talking about it. Okay. All those in favor of allowing the mayor to sign off on wastewater treatment fiberglass chemical storage tank, and what town will be doing
Right.
after I get a letter from TAM?
Written agreement from TAM.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So I need
All those in favor?
Or motion, we're gonna motion that, right?
I just did.
Oh, you moved him?
I asked for a motion, if I can get one.
Okay.
Thank you. Charlie?
Second.
Second by Bob. All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, on to old business. Property maintenance code amendments.
Pat, before you move, you had a couple other things that you wanted that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, okay,
The A-license.
right. Yeah, on the A license, I talked to John, we had a department head meeting this morning. I talked to John, we need to move forward on this either way. The question is, are we going to, are we looking to take over the Fort Montgomery wastewater? If we do, if we are, we have to move forward on this now because we have to spend a year of training, and the longer we wait, the less time we're gonna be able, the less time we're gonna be able to take over the plant.
I thought it was actually 2 years.
It's 2 years for part-time, it's a year full-time.
Is the town okay with that? I mean, I don't know, have we heard back from them saying that, yes, we'll pay you guys for the training and yes, proceed?
They contacted us that they wanted to do this, and we have not gone over any specifics of who's doing what, who's taking care of what. My question is with the board, do we want to, knowing that it's going to be a 2-year process, I just want to know to proceed, get the information from Bob. In fact, it's a wastewater issue, I'd rather, why don't you just take care of that?
Okay, I'll stop down and see them and make sure that in fact that that's the direction
Right.
it wants to go. And, have them look for training and find out what it is and,
Also, they had said that the guys on West Point have the
guys there,
license.
that the-
That would help us in a big way. Because then if we had to, we can send them to West Point. And then in a year, they can be trained, if we had to.
No, I'll stop down and see Bob and we'll discuss, to make sure that we're all on the same page and yeah, that's the direction they want to go.
Excellent.
What's that?
Of what not to do.
Yeah.
Interior painting of the digester tank. Is this what we were talking about this morning? Okay, so also talking to Todd this morning on the secondary tank. I was just talking to you earlier about that. They are not going to, there were 2 or 3 preventative maintenance items they could have done on the secondary tank. They had already started filling the tank. They were gonna drain it again to work on it. But Todd, after talking to a couple people, to work on it would cost between $150,000 and $400,000, which is not budgeted at this time. Nor is it in the FEMA money, nor is it anywhere. So Todd checked with several people. He had gotten the word that it would only be about $5,000. This is a $45,000 to $50,000 job to drain it to where it needs to go to work on it. He said because we're at where we're at, it would only be about $5,000 to redo this in 2 or 3 years to get it where we can work on it. We don't have the money in the budget right now. He said it's not gonna, it's in great shape, it's in good shape, not great shape. It needs to be done, but it's in good shape. It's something that should be revisited in several years, on top of the fact that we are still looking at working with West Point, and that would probably be modification of these tanks to begin with, and it'd be a lot more money to work on these tanks. So his recommendation again is not to paint and work on the interior of the tanks at this time. But he wanted to make sure the board was aware of that, so that if questions came up, I believe it's a good financial, it's a very good financial decision. And when he looked down there, it was in good shape, the bottom of the secondary tank. Okay? Moving on to old business. Property maintenance code amendments. This is, we actually, for the new business, So we should just move on to new business? Yeah, that's all. Okay, so we're gonna actually talk about the new business. So moving on to new business, approval of minutes is written, regular meeting September 16th, 2013. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo, second?
Second.
Second by trustee Murphy, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. I need a motion to open a public hearing for 84 Murns Avenue for unsafe building hearing.
Motion to open a public hearing on the 84 Burns.
I have a motion by Charlie Murphy, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Bob, all those in favor? Hearing is open. What's that? Is there anyone here representing 84 Murns? 84 Murns? No. Okay. Am I gonna read this?
Well, Ben recommended that no one is here to kind of table everything. And
Okay.
it's revisited after he's had a chance to talk to John on
Okay.
that.
Recommend, well, what's that?
Did you give a notice of that?
Well, should we table it and then close it?
Table the public hearing.
Right, we're gonna table the public hearing recommendation from the attorney.
Make a motion, we table the public hearing for 84 Burns Avenue.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Charlie Murphy, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Introductory law amendment to village code zoning board members from 7 to 5. This is to actually change it, Gene? Yeah, this is to change it.
This is an introductory law to change your board members from 7 to 5.
Are there any questions on this?
It's a code change, so you have to take it off the law.
Right.
So you're just setting the public hearing right now.
Yeah, we're setting the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
Motion to set the public hearing.
Is that a,
I think we gotta read the resolution.
resolution?
Yep. Looking for the resolution. Yeah?
So that's-
No, you don't.
Wait.
Yes. Introductory local law, reduction in membership of the Consolidated Board of Appeals. Being enacted by the Board of Trustees of the Village of Highland Falls, County of Orange, State of New York as follows. Section 1, subsection A of 240-61 titled Organization of Article 11 titled Board of Appeals. Chapter 240 titled Zoning of the Code of the Village of Highland Falls amended to read as follows. Consolidated Board of Appeals shall consist of 5 members to be appointed and reappointed by the board, by the town board to the town of Highlands and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Highland Falls in accordance with the provisions of the intermunicipal cooperation agreement as may be amended. Section 2, Section 40-4 titled Membership, Term of Office, Appointments, Removal of Chapter 40 titled Zoning Board of Appeals of the Code of the Village of Highland Falls is amended by amending the first sentence of said 40-4 to read as follows. The number of members of the consolidated ZBA shall be as established and set forth in 240-61A of this code. Section 3, this local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. Do I have a motion?
That's just your introductory.
Right.
You don't need a motion.
Okay, so we're set.
Now you need to do the notice of hearing,
That's what,
no, you just read the local law.
right, no, Charlie had said to do the hearing. Okay.
That's it.
Notice of hearing reduction. Public notice is hereby given that there have been introduced before the Board of Trustees of the Village of Highland Falls of New York on October 7th, 2013, a local law entitled Reduction in Membership of the Consolidated Board of Appeals, which local law would reduce the number of members of the Town of Highlands Consolidated Zoning Board of Appeals from 7 members to 5 members. A complete copy of the introductory local law is available for inspection at the clerk's office. Now, therefore, pursuant to Section 20 of the Municipal Home Rule Law, the Board of Trustees of the Village of Highland Falls, New York, will hold a public hearing on the aforesaid local law at the Village Hall, 303 Main Street, Highland Falls, New York, on October 21st, 2013 at 7 p.m., at which time all persons interested therein shall be heard. The Village of Highland Falls will make every effort to assure that the hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and/or reasonable accommodations should contact the village clerk. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Jim, Charlie, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay, we have a resolution to keep St. Luke's Cornwall Hospital ER open. Resolution, the Village of Highland Falls Board of Trustees in support of keeping the St. Luke's Cornwall ER open full-time. Whereas since 1931, Cornwall has been a hospital that has served the towns of Blooming Grove, Highlands, New Windsor, and Woodbury, as well as the town of Cornwall. And whereas 10 years ago, St. Luke's Cornwall Hospital spent $4.2 million to expand and upgrade the emergency department of the Cornwall campus. And whereas the ambulance service in Blooming Grove, Cornwall, Highlands, New Windsor, and Woodbury prefer to keep the Cornwall emergency room open. And whereas the Village of Highland Falls supports maintaining a 24-hour emergency department service of the Cornwall campus of St. Luke's Cornwall Hospital for the health and well-being of the residents of the towns of Blooming Grove, Cornwall, Highlands, New Windsor, and Woodbury. And whereas there was no communication by St. Luke's Cornwall Hospital with the affected communities, elected officials, or emergency responders leading up to their decision to request a reduction in emergency department hours, and whereas the aforementioned communities, elected officials, and emergency responders only learned of St. Luke's Cornwall Hospital's decision via a press release from the hospital dated September 9th, 2013, after months of internal discussion, and therefore, now be it resolved that the Village of Highland Falls requests that at their October meeting, the trustees of St. Luke's Cornwall Hospital withdraw their request to the New York State Department of Health to reduce the hours of operation of the emergency department at the Cornwall campus to 12 a day. And be it further resolved that the Village of Highland Falls request the trustees of St. Luke's Cornwall Hospital, after withdrawing their request to the DOH, work with the affected communities, elected officials, and emergency responders towards finding an alternative solution to reducing emergency department hours.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Salvo, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Murphy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Trustee Allen?
Aye.
Trustee Murphy?
Definitely.
Mayor Quinn?
Aye.
Motion
Resolution. Resolution requesting real property tax exemption of the village-owned water supply property. Whereas the Village of Highland Falls is the owner of real property in the town of Highlands identified on the tax map as follows, and Section 1, Block 1, Lot 2. Whereas the above real property is devoted solely to public use as part of the village water system as a catchment and reservoir, and whereas the real property tax law, Section 406(3), provides the authority for each taxing district in which municipality-owned property used in such manner is located to grant a whole exemption from the real property taxes levied by the taxing district, and whereas such exemptions from the Village of Highland Falls water supply site real property will provide a direct, immediate benefit for the taxpayers and water users of the Village of Highland Falls, which would enhance real property ownership and exemplify a spirit of intermunicipal cooperation between the County of Orange and this village. Now, be it resolved that this Board of Trustees, on behalf of the Village of Highland Falls, its taxpayers, water system users, and citizens, hereby petition the County of Orange to grant a whole exemption from Orange County real property taxes commencing for the calendar year of 2015, or the parcel of real property in the town of Highlands identified as follows: Section 1, Block 1, Lot 2. And it is further resolved that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to each of the following to request their attention to this petition, processing of the same, and affirmation action. Honorable Michael Hillmeyer, Honorable Melissa Bonasek, Honorable Jeffrey Berkman. The adoption of the foregoing resolution, I need a roll
So
call.
moved.
Motion, second,
Second?
roll call.
Roll call, trustee DeSalvo.
Aye.
Trustee Allen.
Aye.
Trustee Murphy.
Aye.
Mayor Thornton.
Aye. Keep going. Approve the audit firm for the year ending May 2013 annual audit. You have the information in front of you of the different vendors. You have the recommendation from the treasurer. Are there any questions? He recommended Vanicor.
Right.
Aren't they more expensive?
They're almost the same price.
For what?
But, I have to say that since we have a new treasurer who's putting new eyes on the system, I think both Nugent and Vanacore are extremely good corporations. But at least for the coming year, I personally would like us to keep Nugent, because then you've got a little balance. You've got someone new looking at systems, and we've got the old auditors who can explain why something was done the way it was in the past, and it might facilitate the audit. So, given the fact that, if anything, they're equal price-wise, or Nugent's tiny bit cheaper, I would be in favor of sticking with Nugent and Hausler.
Bob?
I like Nugent Housing.
Jim?
Nugent Hauser.
Can I get a motion?
So moved to go with Nugent Hauser for auditing firm.
I have a motion to accept Nugent Hauser as the auditing firm. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Bob Mellon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We already did that. Yeah. Okay, next on the agenda, we have the approval of part-time officer Peter Boutros, with a maximum probation at the rate of $19.65, starting salary, part-time police contract. Comments?
If I can speak from the back room so I don't have to climb over this obstacle in front of me. Part of our recruitment is we try to get seasoned officers, but we also like to get young and upcoming officers. Officer Boutros, he comes highly recommended. He's highly educated. He has a bachelor's degree in sociology. He just started part-time with the town last October, so he's still fairly new, and we'll be able to mold him and help him pursue his goals of becoming a very successful officer. That's all I really have to say.
Would that be he next to you?
Yes, he actually showed up tonight.
I actually prefer senior officers for several different reasons, but this is one that I can say, after talking to a meeting with him, several advantages of getting someone like this on the force. Very excited. And on top of, after meeting and talking to him several times, I really think it's a great move to have, if there's a part-time officer in the town that's looking for more work, if he's good, which I believe we have a good officer here, why would we send him out to Montgomery? Why would we send him down to Rockland? He knows the community. If he's gonna look for more work part-time, I love to see that happen right here. Do I have a motion to accept Peter Boutros with maximum probation at the rate of $19.65 starting salary and a part-time police contract?
So moved.
I have a motion and I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
You're good.
Okay, we have completed probation, part-time officer Robert LeGros, part-time officer Roberto Zayas, and part-time officer Joseph Mercurio. We have 3 that have completed their probation. Basically, we need a motion to accept, though they've already completed it.
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second by Charlie Murphy. You got one?
Yeah, I didn't see the names on that, I'm sorry.
Robert, you want me to go
Right
right
here.
the motion, Gina?
Robert LeGros,
Okay.
Roberto
I
Zayas,
was looking at it.
Joseph
You
Mercurio.
want to do one at a time, Gene?
No, we're good. I got it. Okay, I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Appoint trustees for the LoSAP payment account. You have that in front of you. Are there questions?
Typically, the village clerk, the village treasurer, and one trustee of the board was the trustees of this account. Whenever they need anything from the fire department on the insurance for the LoSAP.
Right.
Because we have a changeover in administration now, new
Mhm.
clerk, new treasurer, and now the trustee who was the member is now a member of the fire department, so I'm not sure that you
Right.
want to have him as that trustee or pick someone else. So we need new signatures.
Well, Regina, you'll stay on. My suggestion would be continue with the treasurer, Ed McGrada. And since you're on the fire department now, Jim, Bob, would you take that over?
What's that?
Being a LoSAP signature person.
I can do
We
that.
need a board member. You good? Excellent. Okay, all those in favor for Regina Taylor, Ed McGrada, and Bob Mellon?
You said the salary.
Oh, well, your brother can do it. Bob Mellon being the signatories for the LoSAP program. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Besides Bob. 'Cause you can't. So moved. Request for training, village treasurer and clerk to attend the New York State GFOA Government Accounting Essentials Program on October 20th through 30th in Montgomery, New York, at a cost of $204 per person. Also request mileage reimbursement. Questions? Can I get a motion?
Motion that we approve the request for training for village treasurer and clerk at a cost not to exceed $240 per person.
They've also requested mileage.
And mileage.
What is mileage? Is it
55 cents.
55 cents?
55,
Lower.
yeah.
55.
And a half? Come on now. So I have a motion to accept their training. I have a second by trustee Mellon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. I have another request for training by street superintendent for the Nikon Public Works Training in Lake Placid, October 20th to the 23rd. At a cost of $375 for lodging, $245 for registration. He is requesting the use of truck 1.
But he also has said that he is going to take a room across the street.
Right, that's the three.
It's noted in there.
That's the 375.
It's noted in
So
your
it did,
sheet.
it was already adjusted.
Okay.
'Cause this was 700 and something, and
Right.
now it's changed to
Okay.
375.
Who's in charge when he's gone? The fellow, next in command? Or the-
Usually
I believe so.
one of the other department heads.
Of the crew would be Bob.
Gina, in the past, if we let, this is just a question for vehicles.
I believe.
Truck number one.
Which is
Yeah.
truck?
I believe.
I think it's the truck he's driving.
The white truck, pickup truck. Yeah, well, it's just,
I'd rather go with Myers.
yeah, especially if, somebody's filling in and needs a truck. You know what I mean?
I'd rather approve the cost of $375, the lodging of $245, and mileage.
I like that.
I mean, I don't know that he won't, miss the truck, I'm just.
Well, we don't know.
I don't know what we did in the
Like you
past.
said.
If we let people take it in the past, then we probably should let them take it.
I don't like to see trucks leaving the village.
It's not like he's running in Monroe, he's going like class.
It's not like you're going, he has to pick up anything with a truck.
That's a
Personal
big
vehicle.
truck and mileage is great, it's not, if he's leaving somebody in charge, I suggest we leave the truck so he can use it. Match the form.
I agree. So, do I have a motion to accept the request for training in Street Superintendent Nikon Public Works training in Lake Placid for a cost of $375 for lodging, $245 for registration, and mileage? Do I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Mellon, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Murphy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. I need a motion to authorize the mayor to sign a civil rights certification form referencing Section 8 programming. That's just paperwork. It's basic stuff. It's nothing that's changing anything. It's just,
Formality.
yeah, formality.
Make a motion, the mayor is allowed to sign the civil rights certification.
Do I have a second?
You do.
Trustee Mellon.
Oh, this is from Estorino.
Right.
All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I would like to just pause for a second on that. I would like to, at the next meeting, I'm going to bring up a few things about Section 8 that's coming up in about a year for renewal. So I definitely want to be prepared for that. And I want to have some discussion on what we're looking for at our Section 8 program. Okay, that's one of the things I think we really need to look at in this community. Okay. I need a motion to approve the new Highland Falls Fire Department member, Earl Sicati, effective immediately.
Well, I would love to make that motion.
Fantastic. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Earl is a fireman.
It's a Proby.
Yeah, you'd like to say
It's a
that.
Proby.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the dog social on Sunday, October 27th, 1 to 2 at Roe Park.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Are we discriminating against cats?
We are discriminating against cats. I want that noted for the record. Do I have a second?
I can second.
Charlie River cannot second that. Bob, we're gonna need to hear that.
Let's get back to that.
We still don't have a second. We have 2 cat lovers on the board. There are some issues.
Yes.
You sure?
I'll do it.
If you really want to
I'm
hold for
gonna
it.
get in trouble for this.
Oh, come on.
All those in favor?
I will go along with the dogs.
Opposed? So moved. I need a motion to approve the cancer walk Sunday, October 20th, 1 to 3 at Roe Park Ave around the pond. You see the insurance on the back. You will do that. Thank you, Charlie. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Unless there's opposed. I don't hear it. I need a motion to approve the bills and claims for the year 13-14, $325,000, $585.36. Do I have a motion?
You do?
Trustee Mellon? Do I have a second?
Second
Trustee
the
Salvo?
motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Did I miss anything, Jim?
Yeah, everyone introduced snow and ice.
You are correct.
Also, didn't you move the property maintenance code amendments to new business?
And that too.
Did I miss that too? I am a gentleman. I'm not gonna sign it. Thank you so much. And they're under here, all right.
They came very late.
They did, okay. This is actually a very, very important piece, and I'm glad we waited till we did to give it the importance that it needs. We've had several people, many complaints, and unfortunately, little's been done, and we're hoping that this will help us deal with the problem. These two laws we're putting forward to speed up the process of those that are not taking care of their property, overgrown, because right now, with the way that it's working, by the time you get the second notice and the hearing and then summer's over, we're into fall, we're already in winter, they've done nothing to their property. So their neighbors, the community has to deal with these pieces of property for the entire summer with no ramifications. That's the one reason that I went after this law, to shore it up and make it quicker than it's been. Then John Hager had suggested we move forward with a law also, because it's not on the books right now, a law for snow removal. As everyone is responsible for the area in front of their house, there is nothing in the code right now to take care of that efficiently, and John and Bengali, John put this together, Bengali looked it over. So these are two introductory, well, this introductory law we'll do first. And I just lost my thing here. Well, no, this turns it around. Thank you. Okay, so introductory law, amendment to the village code. Nope, that's not it. Oh, you know what? Because it wasn't here, I was reading the wrong one. Okay, the introductory law for the amendment to the property maintenance law. Being enacted by the Board of Trustees of the Village of Highland Falls, County of Orange, State of New York as follows. Section 1. Section 1, 170-7, titled Enforcement of Chapter 170, titled Property Maintenance of the Code of the Village of Highland Falls, is amended as follows. Subsection B is amended to read as follows. B, the notice of violation in order to remedy. Any enforcement official shall have the authority to issue a notice of violation and order to remedy, directing an owner or occupant or other person having control directly or indirectly of any property to bring such property into compliance with the provisions of this chapter within a period of time deemed adequate by the enforcement official and set forth in the notice of violation and order to remedy. Such notice and order may be served personally or mailed to the owner's last known address as shown on real property tax records for the village or other record and posted on the property. Subsection C is amended by amending the last sentence thereof to provide that the minimum time period for compliance except in an emergency is 5 days after the date of issuance of the notice of violation and order to remedy. Subsection D is amended to read as follows. At the hearing held before the Board of Trustees, the property owned and any owners as defined herein and or attorney and other representative shall have the opportunity to contest the enforcement official's notice of the violation and order to remedy. After the hearing is closed, the Board of Trustees shall adopt an order to affirm, modify, or rescind the enforcement official's order to remedy. Subsection F is repealed. Subsection G is redesigned, and subsection F is amended and read as follows. Compliance with this chapter is required in the interest of the public's safety, health, and welfare. If the owner served with a notice of violation and order to remedy fails to comply with the order to remedy as affirmed or modified by the Board of Trustees pursuant to 170-7D, the village, through its officers, employees, contractors, or agents, may enter upon the property and correct and remedy the violation. All costs incurred by the village, including the cost of correction and remedy and the cost of the proceeding, included but not limited to the reasonable attorney fees, plus any surcharge amount as established in 170-7G, shall be billed to the property owner. The village shall bill the property owner for said cost by mailing the bill to the owner's last known address as shown on the real property tax records of the village. If the property owner does not pay said cost within 30 days after the mailing of the date of the bill, then the amount of said cost, together with the interest charged at a rate of 9% per annum, shall be a lien on the property and shall be assessed against such property and shall be levied and collected in the same manner as a real property tax. The provisions of this subsection are additions to, not in lieu of, penalties set forth in 170-8. New section subsidy is added as follows. Surcharges in order to defray administrative costs. The following surcharge amounts shall be added to all bills charged pursuant to 170-7S. Lawn and yard maintenance, $75. Other property maintenance, 15% of actual work or performed, $25 minimum. Subsection 1 is amended to read as follows. The remedies available. Enforcement of an order to remedy by order of the Board of Trustees and enforcement order to remedy by the Justice Court are cumulative remedies and are not alternative remedies. The enforcement of official of the village may pursue either or both of the remedies. In addition, nothing contained herein shall be constructed to restrict the authority of the enforcement officer of the village to compel compliance with this chapter or abate a public nuisance by any other lawful process or provision of law. New subsection J is added to read as follows. Emergency measures. If the enforcement officer determines that a violation of this chapter causes or may cause imminent danger to the occupants of the building, neighboring persons, or property of the public, then the village has the authority to and may immediately enter upon the property and take an emergency measure necessary to safeguard the occupants, persons of property without providing prior notice to the owner. The village shall provide such written notice of an opportunity of hearing before the Board of Trustees as soon as practical. The owner shall be subject to the payment of all costs incurred by the village and to all requirements and provisions of 170-7F. Section 2, this local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with Secretary of State. Do I have a motion?
I have a quick question.
Open, I'm after this one too, correct. This is the actual deal. Whew. Be it resolved that an introductory local law entitled Amendment to the Property Maintenance Law, be it hereby is introduced on October 7, 2013, before the Board of Trustees of the Village of Highland Falls, County of Orange, State of New York, and be it further resolved that copies of the aforesaid proposal, local law, be laid upon the desk of each member of the Board, and be it resolved that the Board hold a public hearing on said proposed local law at Village Hall, 303 Main Street, in the Village of Highland Falls, New York, at 7:15 p.m. on October 21st, 2013. Be it resolved that the clerk publish or cause to be published a public notice in the official newspaper of the Village of Highlands and said public hearing at least 5 days prior thereto. Roll call.
Make a motion.
Just need a motion.
So moved.
Charlie Murphy, second. Bob Mellon, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna go, am I gonna roll the roll call?
No.
Just a motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay. That was that, and we also have to do the one for snow removal, correct?
Yes. It's much shorter.
It was just too much for me to keep up.
Come on now, Greg?
Simple question. So basically, if you don't take care of your yard, you get a citation. You don't take care of that, the town takes care of it for you. You pay for it, right? That's the first part.
You write the next one, because that's it. 3 sentences is all we need.
You lost me after that.
These people,
I swear to God.
tell you what, they just like to write. Wow. That's it. That, in a nutshell,
pretty
that's
much-
exactly what it is.
Okay, and if it's an imminent danger, like right away, they take care of it without giving you a citation, and then you
Right.
pay for whatever.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
So you did get it, weren't you?
I just wanted to make sure because
You got
you
it.
lost me at a couple of things. I'm
You
like,
can get a copy too.
no, thank you, that's okay.
Do you have any other one for someone? Thank you. Just the introductory law and resolution for providing a public hearing. Which am I doing first? Introductory law. Village of Highland Falls introductory law, surcharge and interest charge for snow and ice removal. Stay with me, Greg. Be enacted by the Board of Trustees in the Village of Highland Falls, County of Orange, State of New York as follows. Section 1, Chapter 187, titled Snow and Ice Removal of the Code of the Village of Highland Falls is amended by adding a new section designated as 187-9.1, titled Surcharge and Interest Charge, to read as follows. 187-9.1, Surcharge and Interest Charge. In order to defray administrative costs, a surcharge amount of $25 for each time the village removes snow or ice from the sidewalk adjoining the property shall be added to the bill charged pursuant to 187-9. In addition, if a bill is not timely paid, the cost and amount assessed and levied against the property shall include an interest charge of 9% per annum. Section 2, the local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. Resolution introducing local law and providing for a public hearing and notice. Be it resolved that an introductory law, local law entitled Surcharge and Interest Charge for Snow and Ice Removal, be it hereby is introduced by October 7th, 2013, before the Board of Trustees in the Village of Highland Falls, County of Orange, State of New York. Be it further resolved that copies of the aforesaid proposal, local law, be laid upon the desk of each member of the Board. Be it further resolved that the Board hold a public hearing on said proposal, local law, at the Village Hall, 303 Main Street, in the Village of Highland Falls, New York, on October 21st at 7:20. And I got your number, Gina. Be resolved that the clerk publish and cause to be published a public notice in the official newspaper of the Village of Highland Falls, and said public hearing at least 5 days prior thereto. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Trustee Salvo, do I have a second?
You do? Second.
Trustee Mellon, all those in favor?
I,
All those opposed? So moved. That was to set the hearing. The hearing will be our next meeting, which is in 2 weeks. So it wasn't decided tonight. We have to give notice, so people have the opportunity that want to look at it. You're more than welcome.
but let me get the chronology correct. At 7 o'clock, we have a public hearing on
No,
Newport
7:15.
Piers. No,
No,
there's
7
one
o'clock,
earlier.
7:15, 7:20.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of public hearings.
Then
next week.
7:15 and 7:20.
Yeah.
The next available.
What do I got? Am I done here or what?
I think this is,
I believe you were.
We're close. If not, we're not done. We're close.
It's all you.
Storage tank. Public comment. Yes. You do. Those are the rules. Please face the camera so we know what's going on.
I hate to beat a dead horse, but I would like to know what is going on with 109 Center Street, since you brought up the property stuff today. 109 Center Street, for those of you who don't know this, from all the years we've been standing here, has been vacant now for 5.5 years. It has been completely gutted. The roof is falling off. The covering that was put on the roof about 5.5 years ago has completely come off. There is a broken window now. The brand new windows that they put in, one of them has been broken by the children in our neighborhood, and it has dangling glass in it on the Center Street side. And two children were trying to break into the door the other day, and my husband heard them and went out and confronted them. And I can assure you, if they had gotten into the building, because it's completely gutted, they would have gotten hurt badly. And in addition to that, the chimney on the driveway side of Center Street towards the rental property, that's 117, I believe, is literally dangling by a few bricks now. So my question is, how do we go about getting an unsafe building hearing for 109 Center Street, since MERNS seems to be moving right along and we've been dealing with this for 5.5 years? That's my question.
And that is an excellent question. And I'm glad you brought it up. You're not beating a dead horse by any means. This is exactly what we're looking for from the public. Because however members are on the board, however members on the highway department, building department, it's not enough. We need the community to get involved. We need you guys, just as we did with the sidewalk, the driveway today. You need to be part of the solution. And you guys have been here many, many times trying to fix the situation. I appreciate it. I actually had thought that we were moving forward because I was given the information that a local person had actually contracted to purchase the property, was going to renovate it, but this was months ago, that he was supposed to have an answer in 2 weeks. I actually talked to we had a department meeting this morning, department head meeting. I talked to them, and I'm meeting with John Hager to find out is that happening or not. I am going to contact that gentleman directly to find out what's going on. I was in contact with the lawyer that's dealing with the property. I was surprised when we did get a hold of him, and he's like, yeah, no one's really ever contacted us. That's 5 years after this whole process started. After contacting him, immediately is when I found out that this gentleman was hopefully gonna close on the property. That hasn't happened yet. I'm gonna get in touch with them again. Please don't feel you're pushing the issue at all, because you're not. It's an eyesore, and it should have been taken down 5 years ago, or fixed. How we go about getting it unsafe? John Hager. And I will work with you on that, without question.
Yeah.
We put temporary fence on there.
Yeah,
Put temporary fence around it, let the kids play on there.
thank
Or
you.
maybe something like that one, tape it off.
The window
I
has to be,
appreciate that.
the window has to be, something has to be done with that now, because there is dangling glass on the Center Street side. So there's two windows, and I think it's the one on the right as you're facing the building. So it's partially broken and partially not. So if that glass falls on someone in the road, then
These are the
you're gonna.
windows, you say somebody's working on it?
No.
No, back 5.5 years ago when the house was
Oh, okay.
purchased,
All right, all
they
right.
put new windows in. But that's
Okay,
been
back
5.5
then. Okay,
years, and
all
now
right.
they've been broken multiple times. So there's a new
Right.
broken window on Center Street.
And you guys have been very, very patient, and I apologize that more hasn't been done. I'll make it a point Tuesday. Is John Hager back? He'll be going all week? I'll talk to Bruce and see what he can do. And, but let's not let it sit. Keep on top of me, because that's what's gonna be necessary. You know, we'll keep it on the top of the list. That actually leads into, and I'm not gonna, because we'll take more comment. That's exactly what we need from everybody in the community. If we're gonna get things done, I see Mr. McCarthy here. He had brought several things to the board. That's key. It's key that we keep coming in until it gets fixed. It's key that we keep pushing it till it's fixed. Because if it's not, the pile's this long. It'll move to the middle, it'll move to another section. You're not bothering anyone by continually bringing up and asking us to do our job that we said we were gonna do, and that's administer this municipality.
Do we have the ability right now to put plywood up on this window so it's
We would
not a
have to put it-
hazard?
That would be up to, I'd have to check with Bruce tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much. Public comment in the back, and then, no?
Good evening, Rick Lipsy, Allen Falls. First, I'd like to commend the board for your meeting today. It was a very, very transparent meeting, very good reports. However, I would use Laura's first line that she made when she came up here. In the past, we've had, Trustee DeSalva has mentioned about having a treasurer report for the village board. And as a village resident myself, I wonder where the treasurer report is at. So what I did is I did run into Edward Madrida, the treasurer, and I asked him about the treasurer report. And he said to me, it was a very short conversation, that each month he has a treasurer's report. What I did after that was I did foil the village for treasurer's reports for June, July, August, and September. It was very alarming to get an email back that there are no treasurer reports. And for myself,
The meetings are.
For myself, over 25 years right now with a major corporation, each month doing treasury reports, as a former town councilman, knowing about the treasury reports, being in an ambulance corps that even does a treasury report, I don't know how, speaking as a village resident, you could move from month to month without knowing on paper the written treasurer's report. I don't know how you're seeing your expenses, your revenue. Where are you seeing that?
The treasurer addressed that at each meeting. He did give a report. It is in the minutes. And, excuse me,
Go ahead.
he did give a report. It is in the minutes. The last several meetings, as he stated, he's working on the AUD, which is the annual report.
Right.
That needs to be in on time and correct. And when asked, he was answered efficiently with, as soon as the AUD is complete, he will continue to give the written treasurer reports, and that's what's happened. The AUD is laid on my desk a couple days ago. That is done. That is what I instructed him to do, to finish the AUD on time, because in the past, we have gotten, because it was either late or it was done incorrectly, we have had to spend additional thousands of dollars to to correct it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to use taxpayer dollars that way. So that was a priority for me. He has stated every meeting, when asked, as soon as the AUD is complete, AUD is complete. The AUD and the treasury report that he's working on is available right now online. Okay, the treasurer's report that we have subscribed to, not the individual treasurer report that was done in the past by the treasurer. The program that we prescribed to, that we purchased to manage this municipality, he has been doing it, and it is online, and it will be available for the trustees, and I believe the public. I'm not sure.
It's not online. I don't
No,
really-
I'm saying he's got it, and it will be available, that we can access it. It will.
Not-
That's what he
not
told
our-
me.
Not the KVS system.
Not the KVS financial program that we use.
Right.
It's not online to the public.
No, for the board members. That's what he told me. That's what he said. Not for the, that's what I was asking. I don't think it's for the public, but it's for, so that we can access it at our convenience. So whatever we're looking for in our financial report, we will be able to see.
But
Okay.
to Merv's question though, he is correct that I asked for it and Jim has a printed report to be given to us at least once a month.
Right.
And Ed Magrita has also said he's looking for suggestions from the board about what we want displayed and how that would.
Well, let me just say this and sum up on public comment right now. As I said before, with my background, my experience on treasury reports, okay, I don't know how financially with the expenses, revenue, and everything drawn in, I have reviewed on the website each meeting. I have reviewed what Ed Magrita had to say, okay? Very little was brought in there about the revenue and the expenses that you're looking for yourself, okay? And all I'm trying to say, it's very disappointing that I was told that there are reports. When I foiled the village for the reports, the email came back that there are no reports. And I just, as a village resident, it's very alarming to know that right now, I don't know how you're going month to month without, from Ed Magrita, a treasurer's written report.
Thank you.
So there's no answer to that.
What's your question?
Thank you. Okay.
No, I mean, what's your,
No,
repeat your,
Pat,
repeat your question.
Okay, if that's
You
your
ju-
answer,
you-
thank you, okay.
No,
That's
Merv,
it,
repeat
that's
your
it.
question.
It's all over. Where are the treasury reports?
Did you not understand what I just said when I said before, that he is working on the AUD?
I don't
And
think
then
you
we'll
understand,
provide
guys.
that.
There should still be a treasury report month to month. There
He
are.
gave, he gave a verbal report at each meeting.
It's not a verbal report of the finances. Maybe you ought to review it and watch it yourself, the village meeting.
Oh, I've lived it, don't worry.
Well, it's not there, Pat.
Okay.
It's not there. You're arguing with me, and I think you
I'm
know.
not
that.
arguing, I'm asking a question, Merv.
They're not there.
Okay. Any other, yes?
You got one? Thank you.
Gus Kutratis, good evening, everyone. Member of the school board, Highland Falls Central School District. The school board the past couple of weeks has been actively seeking ways of lessening the burden on our taxpayers by involving more efficient uses of energy at the high school and the other schools. Right now, we are doing a cost-benefit analysis to see whether or not we should enlist the help of a third party to get solar panels put on all the school buildings at no cost to the taxpayer. So that will be discussed again this coming meeting on Thursday. During the last meeting, we had the discussion that the school would really like to have gas. The high school would really like to have gas piped to the high school. So I took it upon myself, with the approval of some board members, to come before the village board to see whether or not the village board would be willing to sit down with the school board to discuss the possibility of getting a pipeline or having Central Hudson supply a pipeline to O'Neill High School. And I know for a fact that the two motels that are located near the high school, currently they're using oil, they would really like to have natural gas. So if we can get some sort of discussion going with Central Hudson. I think that would be beneficial to a lot of people in the area. And maybe later on down the line, seeing if we can get gas to Fort Montgomery. And I think that will help spur economic development, and which is better for the tax base, which is better for everyone all around, so. Okay.
Excellent, thank you very much.
I think the gas main stops at the Hacienda, somewhere right down there. Is that what
Yes.
it's up? You have it at your hotel?
We have gas at the hotel. Yes.
So, and it goes to the Hacienda and then stops, I understand.
Yeah, across from the medical center.
Right.
Across
To
there.
be able to bring it down to past Satellite, and that would offer a lot more to those, that area as well, Satellite on
On
York.
the York, yeah, that's.
Excellent, thank you, that's excellent, Russ. Thank you very much. Yes, Jimmy?
Evening, Mr. Mayor, trustees. I just have a comment, and I would hope that we would do our homework on this. It's concerning the hillside issue. What we probably should make sure is to pull the deeds and the surveys from the two adjoiners' properties. Because I've noticed that they only had the one survey showing where it comes to the T there. So I would hope that we would pull those deeds and surveys, see where those property lines stop. And then just because it is a paper street, I don't know if the village took that over. So we should double check that also, please. Before we go and pay something, it's just my suggestions. And I may not be able to be here for the snow hearing. So my question is, there are plenty of properties that don't have paved sidewalks in front of them. How would you address those, and would they have to clear those? An example would be going up Cousins Avenue, as soon as you get past South Street on the right-hand side, that's all grass. So how would you address that property owner? How would you find somebody there and then, or not find somebody there, and then find somebody that has a sidewalk in front of us? And maybe it's something that we should look about before we pass that law. Also, you can notice that on West Street also, there are properties there that don't have any paving or concrete sidewalks. So I don't know how you would adjust that. And then also, how wide would the pathway have to be considered a safe walkway? Because obviously we know when people shovel their sidewalks, they may have a wall here and the sidewalks here, and then when the snowplow comes, they plow it on and you can't put it back in the street, so how big would the pathway have to be? So before we just pass a wide brush law, I would hope you would probably look into those. That's all.
Excellent suggestions, thank you, Jim. Any other comments from the public? Board comments? Charlie?
No, I think that's good.
Jim?
The only thing I wanted to make a quick comment on was the filing of the AUD. Historically, the previous treasurer had always, and Gina, please correct me if I'm wrong, had filed an extension which gave him like another 30 days to finish up the AUD. But that doesn't cost us any more money by extending it a 30-day. It's very similar to if you file your taxes and you get an extension to file your taxes.
Correct.
So I wanted to add that.
That's not what I was referring to when I said.
No, I'm not saying you were. I'm,
Exactly 60 days.
yeah, so, and thank you, Gina, it's actually a 60-day extension, not a 30-day. And my other question is do we have anybody else working for the village right now that maybe the board isn't aware of?
What do you mean?
Just a question.
Can you be more specific?
I don't know how much more specific I can be.
Is anyone aware of anyone working for the village right now that we're not aware of?
No? I'm asking the board, Gina.
In what capacity?
In any capacity. If anybody that might
I'm
be-
not aware of anyone not aware of working with the village.
Okay.
I don't know if you have something more specific in mind.
I know.
Bob, do you have any comments?
No, I don't.
Okay. I have a few. Before our next meeting, on the day we have 20,000 hearings, is the Fall Foliage Festival, October 19th. Marty Burns and the Ambulance Corps have done a fantastic job of prepping for this. You'll notice the numbers out on Main Street. Took a lot of work. I want to thank them for what they're putting together. It should be an excellent day. I'd like to encourage everyone, put it on the calendar, Saturday, October 19th, all day, on Main Street. I would like to thank Mrs. Kelly. I got a call from Sarah Kelly the day of the fireman parade, asking if her mother could go out and get petitions for the Cornwall Hospital situation. And last minute, she ran out. She spent the whole time getting petitions. She had a whole stack of them. And I just want to let her know that we appreciate her efforts that day. We are at the 6-month mark of this administration. At the November meeting, I will give a report on the progress of the first 6 months of this board. We've achieved several things since April, and are working on several projects for the village. As you've read in the paper, Tony Schizzarini will be leaving the town as highway superintendent. I have talked to Bob Livesey. We are working together to deal with the situation, to look for the best possible positive solutions. I just have to reiterate before the last comment, bringing up, I want to thank you guys for coming out and speaking up again. Everyone's got to get involved, and that's going to lead right into my next, my last thing. Over the last 6 months, I really appreciate a large group of people in the village that have either called, emailed, or approached me and other board members about problems in the village. They say they're very happy. They feel it's more approachable. That they feel that we're hearing them and getting things done. And to that, the 2 committees that have been formed that are progressing in a very good manner, in my opinion, the Quality of Life Committee and the Main Street Committee. We've already seen some positive effects of that right on Main Street. For those, one of the issues they're dealing with are the empty storefronts. I would like to thank Robert Pozo for being one of the first ones to get involved in that program. He has 2 stores down at the north end. Luckily, he has rented the one out, and the other one is still vacant. But you can see in the 2 stores, they have put up some photographs and of local events, and they're going to do more in the next storefront, and they're going to move to other storefronts and do the same. Maybe not the photographs themselves, but other items. And the storefronts look a lot better. And I appreciate him making that move, working with the Main Street Committee. The Quality of Life Committee is actually going to be visiting several different communities in this county and the surrounding counties, looking for some of the solutions to problems that we have in our community. And again, this will all be part of the report on the beginning of November. But I would like to thank those people that have been coming out and being a part of the solution, because that's what's key. We can't do it alone, and I just want to, as on a personal note, for those people that have asked, could you handle this, could you do this? If it hasn't been done, it's not because we're not going to do it. Again, it's because of the stack. So I would ask, if you have asked for something to be done and it hasn't been accomplished yet, come back, give another call, email me again, or any of the board members, and because that's what we're here for. Any other comments? Let's do that. Lastly, before we move into executive session, was wondering where these went. I'm like, he took off, but I missed the checks. Yeah.
This is senior recognition.
Yes. This check for the $500, when he had told us that we're getting $750, I thought it was a good idea, rather than, again, utilizing taxpayer dollars that were not set aside for that purpose, to at least start the fund off in a positive way for the senior center, which is the old Knights of Columbus building. So I need the board to accept this $500 to be put into an account for, yes. Do I have a motion? I have a motion from Bob Mellon. Do I have a second? Charlie Murphy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Fantastic. And for the seniors, you have 500 so far. We are looking for more donations. We're looking for more help. We will be putting out, our engineer is making up a list of all the different things that need to be done to the building. We also are going back to the community block grant, and I want to thank that individual who emailed us on that. Normally, when you go to the community block grant, you can't go back for another 2 years to ask for more money. But if they get money back from a group, for example, what happened this year, Woodbury was doing a project for $35,000. It ended up costing $100,000, so they did not do the project. They gave the $35,000 back. Community block grant needs to re-give that out immediately, or they'll lose it. So we were unaware of that. But after the person emailed in, Todd is on that. He has put another list of the improvements to the Knights of Columbus that need to be done, and hopefully we will be able to maybe get some more of that community block grant money. But we've started the fund, so those people with the thousands of dollars that have been waiting for an account to be set up, it's time. You can drop your checks off at the Village Hall.
Are you gonna have a list of volunteers that you need and work that needs to be done in the community center so that people who have
4 things that
skills-
can be done by volunteers and
Right.
community members.
Like, for
There's
instance,
certain things that, right, we will put it out, because I would love to see the community center be a community effort.
Being volunteer.
As you volunteer your husband to do as much work as possible, which is nice.
Thank you, Laura.
And also, you might want to talk to some of the leadership from the Highlanders group too. They have-
I just wondered if it was gonna.
Joan Cronin's a good point person,
Right.
because she's got a list of people that are already willing to help,
Okay,
so that
Great.
might be a good start.
thank you.
I would need a motion to close.
So moved.
Oh, yes, we are going, I need a motion to move in, thank you. And a motion to move in executive session for
DPWE.
DPWEA contract negotiations, personnel matters.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
Get your work back done.
Careful about the,
Signed you up for about 50 hours.
careful with the Jimmy.
Ken, take care.